What if everything you see, everything you touch, everything you believe is only a shadow of reality? Imagine thinking the world you live in is all there is, only to discover that almost everything you know is an illusion. Over 2,000 years ago, in the bustling streets of Athens, a young boy named Plato asked the same question. Born into wealth, comfort, and privilege, he could have ignored the troubles of the world, but he felt a deep pull, a curiosity about what is real, what is true, and what it means to live a good life. Today, we will follow his journey, his lessons, and his famous ideas, including the one that might just change the way you see the world forever. Athens was alive. Merchants shouted their prices, children ran in the streets, philosophers argued loudly under the sun. But in the middle of all this chaos, Plato noticed something strange. People didn't think deeply about life. They followed trends, listened to gossip, chased wealth and power. They were distracted from what truly mattered. Plato asked himself, what is reality? What is justice? What is beauty? And most importantly, how can humans know the truth instead of just believing what seems convenient? Little did he know, these questions would shape the minds of centuries to come. Plato's search for truth began when he met Socrates, a man who looked ordinary but carried a mind sharper than a sword. Socrates didn't have books or formal lessons. Instead, he asked questions, endless questions, questions that made people uncomfortable because they forced them to think for themselves. Plato watched Socrates, fascinated. How could one man, without a library or money, inspire entire generations? It was simple. He questioned everything, and he made others question too. Socrates would say, don't believe something just because everyone else does. Ask why, explore, challenge assumptions. Plato absorbed this lesson, and it would guide his entire life. Socrates never wrote a word, but Plato did. He created dialogues, conversations between thinkers exploring big questions, justice, love, knowledge, and the meaning of life. These dialogues weren't simple stories, they were challenges. They forced readers to think, question, and reflect.
Why dialogues? Because life itself is a conversation. Each debate, each disagreement sharpens the mind. Plato wanted people to engage, not just memorize. Through these writings, Plato showed that knowledge is not given, it is discovered. The world is not to be accepted at face value, it is to be understood, questioned, and explored. One of Plato's most famous ideas is the allegory of the cave. Imagine prisoners chained from birth in a dark cave, seeing only shadows on a wall. For them, these shadows were reality. They never questioned them because this was all they knew. One prisoner breaks free. He steps into the sunlight and sees the real world for the first time. Colors, shapes, life as it truly is. The shadows were not reality. They were illusions, comforting but false. When he returns to tell the others, they mock him. They prefer the shadows because truth is uncomfortable. Plato said this is how most humans live, seeing only appearances, mistaking them for reality. The lesson? Don't settle for the easy view. Seek truth, even when it's challenging. Step into the light and see the world as it really is. Plato believed in two layers of reality. The first is the world we see, ever-changing, imperfect, confusing. The second is the world of forms, eternal, perfect, unchanging. These forms are real. Love, justice, beauty, they exist perfectly in the world of forms, even if we only see imperfect shadows here. Your soul, Plato argued, is designed to recognize these forms, to understand truth, goodness, and beauty beyond what the eyes can see. Life is not just what happens to us, it is the way we perceive, question, and strive towards something greater. Even today, these ideas matter. They remind us not to be distracted by appearances, opinions, or superficial trends. True understanding comes from seeking the invisible, the eternal, the real. What does this mean for us in the modern world? Social media is a cave. Everyone sees filtered images, edited stories, trending opinions. It's easy to believe the shadows, likes, trends, and viral content are reality. Plato would warn, don't be fooled. Step back, ask questions, explore deeper, look beyond appearances. That's how wisdom grows. That's how you shape a meaningful life. Think for yourself, seek knowledge, appreciate beauty not for show, but for harmony. Choose friends and role models who challenge you, not just entertain you. This is Plato's timeless advice. Plato's ideas were not accepted by everyone. Some thought he was too idealistic. Others feared that his philosophy might control society. But Plato didn't write for critics. He wrote for thinkers, people willing to look deeper, question norms, and seek truth. Thousands of years later, his ideas still inspire philosophers, leaders, and everyday seekers. And now they can inspire you too. Plato teaches us life is not just about comfort or appearances. Truth is discovered by questioning, exploring, and thinking. Shadows will always exist, but courage allows us to step into the light. Ask questions, seek reality, choose wisdom over convenience, and remember, reality is bigger than it looks. Step into the cave of your mind and discover what is truly real. If you want to explore more ideas that challenge reality, question what you know, and expand your mind, stay tuned for the next journey into the world of ancient wisdom.